Peace, loves. I usually don't do this, weigh in on TV shows, and I definitely don't affiliate with drama. The level of peace that I possess and joy came at a cost. I had to work my way to this point. So I know what the opposite end of the spectrum is for me. The opposite end of this peace and joy that I feel and have. I know where that takes me. I know where the opposite end of my peace and joy takes me. So I do all I can to maintain my peace, joy unspeakable, peace that surpasses most people's understanding, regardless of my situation and circumstance. And it's not easy. I have to remind myself to be ye mantra minded. And my mantras are positive. All that aside, I am a huge fan of SWV and Escape. Huge fan of both of them. Like, that was their music, was the theme music to a lot of my life in the 90s. Let's be clear, I'm 50. So during that time, I was partying, having a good time, loving and all that good stuff. Like both groups. Love, right? The reason for this, though, is not just to show them, like, how much I love those groups. I love those girls, you know. Like, I don't know them personally. I'm knowing them more now, you know. But namely, who I decided to speak up about. That first episode, I watched it. I was excited, you know. And I was disturbed. Because young lady, Tamika, I would love to just give you a long hug. I would. Because from the time you walked in that house, Tamika, from the time you walked in that house, I saw the anxiety on the way. And I can relate. That's why I'm making a video. Because I can relate. Okay? I don't compare my mother to your mother because it's a whole different situation and scenario. And I don't compare my sister to your sister because it's a whole different situation. Different people, you know? Different people. But the feelings is what I'm addressing today. The feelings that I can relate to. From the time you walked in that house. Walking in, what you walked into, I already knew quick. I picked up on it quick. I see what this is. Favoritism in families is one of the biggest, saddest phenomena in families, in family dynamics. Favoritism. And I'm not just talking about mine. I'm talking about people who have confided in me, you know, and it was all I could do to keep from going in my bag of knowing what I know. But I do have compassion for victims of it. And yes, I said victims. Because if you don't know, then, you know, you can't relate to my term. But if you know, you know. And when you walked in that house, Tamika, I hope you see this. I felt it. I felt what you've been feeling all along. And people don't realize how it affects your life and how you see life. It affects your perspective. So fast forward to episode 2. That's what really like prompted me to make a video about this and just put it out there, you know. Favoritism ruins and rots families. It really does. And the matriarch of the family, inflicting that on the siblings. That is despicable. It's despicable. You know, and I've seen that happen amongst the siblings and then trickle down to the grandchildren, where there's a favorite there too. And it causes such confusion, right? You know, it took me years to really figure out that it wasn't me. It wasn't me. That yes, I'm different, and probably different as a result of that treatment. I can say that. I think this is the first time I said that out loud. That me being different can be attributed to it can be attributed to that treatment. I wonder if God kept me. I wonder if that was God's way of keeping me, setting me apart, if you will, and giving me a little something, you know, within myself to hold on to, you know, so I wouldn't just like kill myself because I couldn't figure out why I don't fit in family. That's heavy. If you've ever dealt with that, you know where my tears are coming from. And I'm not emotional about it anymore, but I'm having probably some revelations right now as I say it. And that show was a trigger. It was a trigger to see Tamika treated that way. Oh, and that sister. You know, I don't compare her to my sister per se. You know, different people, different people. Different people. I don't compare the people per se, but the situation. That sister is scandalous. Because for her to have not even given her sister a hug when she walked in, but then turn around and say, in front of the mother to say, hug your sister. Like it was she's a piece of work. She's a piece of work. I believe that they took that money. Allegedly. I think you're supposed to say allegedly. I don't want to get sued for my little, I don't know what you would sue me for, but, you know, allegedly. But I believe it. Like, that they took her money. How despicable is that? How despicable is that? It's despicable. You know, to hear her testimony of how devoted and loyal she was to her sister as a way to get her mother's approval, because she knew the backlash that would come if she went against her precious sister. And the mama can't even hide it. There's no hiding from her favoritism. The sad part is, and this is one of the main reasons I wanted to say this, and I hope Tamika will hear it. The sad part is, mama probably will never change her view, so don't expect it, don't wait for it, don't live your life based on it, and don't blame yourself. Don't even question it anymore. It's a place you have to work your way to. It's not even questioning it anymore. Like, why? Why me? Why her? Why this? Don't even question it anymore. What I love, though, is that Tamika is still a beautiful person in spite of. That's what I love. That's what I love. Like, I can see what she's been through. I can relate to it, you know. But in spite of, she's just still such a beautiful person, you know. And that is the reward. That's the reward. If you've suffered through that, being the least of these, if you've suffered through being the least of these, not the favorite, because that can make you like F the world, you know, feeling that way, or knowing that your family kind of feels that way towards you can make you say F the world quick, real quick. But if you can find peace and joy in spite of, and keep your love intact, in spite of that, that's something to be proud of and be thankful for. And I was happy to see her have a chance to apologize to Tiny and Candy. I love them too. I just do. I love them. Tiny is funny. I'd love to just meet her. Candy is cool and goofy a little bit. You know, rich and wealthy like that. And I'm still going to be a little goofy. She's just happy. You know, they're happy. Like, you can tell, like, you know, regardless of whatever, you know, has gone on or whatever, still happy. That's what I love. That's what I'm talking about. All three of them. So they're going to be all right. They did collab, apparently, and go ahead with, you know, with the show and stuff. But I just wanted to just, I don't know, speak to those who are the least of these. You know, the least of these tribe. Listen, I'm here for you. Follow me, subscribe, comment, weigh in on this too. This is out of my comfort zone, but this is out of my comfort zone season. This is my out of my comfort zone season, my now or never season. Spirit called me out last year, and that's what I've been doing. So I figured I would go ahead and put this out there. You know, I thought about it like, but I wanted to release it, and I wanted to just say those who deal with that, you know. If you need to book a talk with me, because I do have a healing modality, actually. My platform is geared towards truck drivers and life drivers. This is a real life situation, and we've been driving this life, especially those of us who have been deemed the least of these, but yet seem to rise. We rise to the top. Because in spite of that, if you can still be at peace and have joy, listen, we won. We won. Trucking That Ass is the platform. No G, 2 Z's is for abundance of zigs and zags. As A.Z.Z, abundance of zigs and zags. I help you navigate the steep curves of this life. Check out my platform. I interview truck drivers. That's been fun. It might look a little quirky and corny. I'm figuring it out. I'm on my own figuring out the editing and the lighting. the all of it. So it's brand new. Don't judge, but it's some good content. It's some good substance on there. There's more of me on there because I'm just sharing my journey, crossroads and all. You know, I drive trucks. I'm sitting still right now because it got a little much. You know, I talk about that. So subscribe, comment. You know, I'm on all platforms. Trucking That Ass, no G, 2 Z's on all platforms. My name is True 5-Star. I'm your life driver. Ride in peace.
Whole life been right about right now.